What is good, guys? This video is about remaking the Raft poster. Now, as you should know, the Raft is our theme here at school to keep everybody on task and working and behaving positively and helping each other. I made this poster at the request of Mr. Ryan several years ago, and we've updated a few times since it was initially brought out. Sometimes the text gets updated, and I'll update the logo. The illustration is a piece of clip art that I grabbed and adapted after talking to Mr. Ryan. And this slogan has changed a few times over the years. And I see this poster all around the school, and a great process for us to try is to make our own version of it. And so what you should do is think about who could you put in your Raft. And what we've done in the past few years is people have made their own version of the Raft poster featuring characters that they like a lot. So here's a great example by a student from a couple of years ago. And I have turned off the text because the text wasn't working correctly in this app. So you can see that this is built up with layers. You can see a beautiful background has been added. Here is the raft itself and all of the individual characters selected, copied, and pasted into the image. So how should you begin? Well, go do some research, look up, Raft imagery. You will find the popular video game. Well, scroll around until you find some of these. These are catalog imagery for rafts that you can purchase. And avoid a raft image that already has people in it because you're going to have to eliminate that anyway. And our raft is positive, so we don't want a raft that is crashing. So don't go for something like that. But what we're going to do, so I'm going to grab an image of the raft, and this picture, and only this picture, I'm going to save this image and download it. Just about everything else we grab, we can copy and paste back into the project, so we don't have to worry too much about our process at that point. So back here in Pixlr, on the home screen, you can choose Create New right here. And after you choose Create New, 1920 by 1080 is good size, and put in a title with your name on it. So Raft Remake, it could be Raft Remix, just something that indicates what you're doing. Click the Create button, and you're ready to go. This is a nice big canvas, and this size will allow us to do a few fun things with it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to the internet. I'm going to right-click or two-finger tap and then copy image. Then I'm going to pop back over to Pixlr and paste the raft in there. Depending on the nature of your picture, you might have to, you might already have it on a transparent background. In our case, we have a white background, so I'm going to use the magic wand, click on the white, tap backspace or delete, and we have our raft. But what I'm going to do next is grab a picture of, I'm going to honor my student's work here and grab a Bugs Bunny picture. Now this Bugs is full scale, his full body is shown. And that's good. You obviously could grab a picture of his head or face, but that's not really good for, dropping onto a raft image. So let's do copy image, back to Pixlr, paste, and he again is on white background. We're going to magic wand, backspace, and remove that background, deselect. I'm breezing through this a little bit because at this stage, you should be quite comfortable with our operations in Pixlr or any image editor. So we don't want bugs to be the only thing in the raft. And I'm concerned about, he's very casual. He's a little too big. So I would probably shrink him down so he fits in the front. Because if I'm going to add others, I want to have room for them. The other thing is he's pointed to me in the wrong direction. So I'm going to go up here and do flip horizontal. And now he's facing the way that I would like him to. So if I can tuck him in right like this, he looks pretty good. I love the fact that his foot is up on the edge of the boat like that. That looks really cool. But probably once we're settled, we're going to do a little like cut. And I won't do it permanently right now. But if we take the polygon lasso and just go across the edge of the boat here and then make a box around his foot, then we hit backspace, we remove it. Now you see we have created the illusion that he is tucked into that front of the boat a little bit. And now I'm going to move him. And instead of moving him with the mouse, I'm going to use the arrow keys. You can see moving with the arrows makes it a little bit more precise, a little bit smoother. And now we have two cool points here. I love the elbow out on the edge, and I love his foot sticking up there. So the trick next would be, what are you going to do as far as adding other characters? So what I would do next is go searching for some other characters that sort of fit and would maybe be visible behind his, his ears, so we can, continue to add that. So we've got bugs, and what else would we do? Well, don't forget the text is very important to sending our message. So that's why I have the original here. Remember, you don't have to grab anything from the original poster. You just have to use it as your guide. So back here, I would use the text tool to type out our big heading, ride the raft. And we've done a few things with text, but I want you to remember that, this text is our whole message here. So we want it to be nice and big and substantial. So I would increase the size of the text with the slider here. And I would probably alter the font so it is not this thin lettering. So I would go scrolling through. And again, as we say in text, we don't want it to be too busy looking and complicated. We do want it to be bold and big enough that we can read it and that it's attractive and visible from far away. So you can see these orange ones are not available to us because they want us to pay. But look at that. I don't know what Daddy Day is, but that font, that text looks really nice in that font. Let's do an enlargement of it again so it takes up a nice substantial part of the top. What about colors? Well, it's in black right now. My preference is white text, and I think we'll leave it as white until we figure out what the rest of the image is going to be. Other things you can do would be, once your photo is in there, is this roaring rapids? Is this the ocean? What is the water going to look like? So one of my favorite things to do is to simulate things like water and stuff with our brushes. So I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to put it right over the boat layer and the bugs layer. And I'm going to use a brush tool to enlarge it nice and big and make it super soft and big. So that I can make it look very wispy and soft. So there's our softness tool is here, and so we can assume roaring rapids type whiteness, and that is too strong. What have I not done? Opacity. So opacity should be much lower, about halfway, and then this can be used to make the appearance simulated like fuzzy, fluffy, watery, rapids. Just so you don't think that I'm out of my mind, let's do a nice roaring rapids image. So we've got a lot of pictures of things already in the Roaring Rapids, and it looks like Roaring Rapids is a ride at Disney. So maybe we don't want to look up that particular title. But here's a nice image. It could work. It's small though. See, 550 by 413. It breaks my heart. So we don't want a picture that small. Let's take out the heading Roaring and just put in Rapids. And see, this is going to give us much more general and generalized results. So let's see. This image is also small. So people are thwarting our attempts to find cool, beautiful images of Roaring Rapids. So look at this one. And again, this is me trying this. You maybe need to find your own way. You don't have to do it the way I did it. But I have copied and pasted that image. Look at that. Look at that. So now let's put the ocean, the water, sorry, behind Bugs. And, I've got this is the rapids this is the spray that I added. And it looks pretty cool. Now, we don't want it to be so big. So we don't want it to be so big that we have no room for other texts, but let's use this as our jumping off point and go from there. So I look forward to seeing what you come up with. It's a totally cool opportunity for you to do something unique to you with characters that you love and that an audience will think is cool too. So get started, give it a shot, and thanks for watching.